All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case. Over on Rumble, of course. I believe that we are, since there are 150 people waiting and chat is moving along swiftly. By the way, Mulgera85 did send me this, The End of the Fed by Ron Paul. Super chat there, Rumble rant. Let me know when you finish End the Fed, by the way. I'd love to get your opinions on it. I thank you very much for that. Probably should have gotten a copy years and years ago. He talks to Bernanke and a bunch of others in here, actually. It's so far I've skimmed through it and read a part of the first chapter, and it's definitely down my alley, so I thank you for that. I see a lot of pooping going on in chat over there. That's a lot of shit, literal and figurative, and I'm watching myself talk. I don't like to do that. It's slightly distracting. We'll be talking about Jane Doe 107. That's going to be important. With the Epstein case, of course, that's been punted ahead. They're not releasing the files. They've given an extension, actually, for this particular, presumably high-profile individual to try to keep material redacted and keep it out of the public eye. It could be a perp. It could be a victim. We're not sure because we don't have the filing. We'll be talking at length about the Epstein files in general as well. Also, the Whitmer plot. Now, this particular Real Clear Investigations, RCI, article is talking about the FBI entrapment plot with regards to Governor Whitmer, of course, of Michigan. I would like to issue a warning, though. I think there will be more Whitmering for the next election. It was not coincidental. This happened a couple of days before the 2020 election. And I have a feeling they're going to try something like this again. This is all propaganda. And yeah, there was entrapment involved. And Ramaswamy and Trump and others were right. And the legacy media, as always, was wrong. We've got a couple of bombings, actually, that happened near Soleimani's tomb. He was the Iranian general that Trump whacked years ago. And every year they hold like a mourning remembrance for him because he's considered, by some Iranians at least, as a national hero. There were a pair of bombings there, actually. And right now, this article says 73 dead. I've seen reports of upwards of 140 dead, as well as many injured. It's not 100% clear exactly how many people were killed and injured. Unfortunately, mostly civilians. Of course, while I don't rue the loss of Soleimani, although I had a problem with the strike when it happened, and that was under Trump, of course, that was one of my criticisms of him. Well, I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem with killing civilians. The context does not matter. I don't care what color they are, what age they are, where in the world they are. I still oppose it. But we'll be talking about that in some nuance, some detail. And tomorrow we get to talk about the national debt hitting $34 trillion, actually, as of this morning. We'll be discussing that. Yeah, that's going to be one of the main videos for tomorrow. So I'll get into it then, as opposed to on the live stream here. We've got the AP talking about Claudine Gay. Of course, she resigned as president of Harvard over mainly plagiarism allegations, though there was already a pre-existing problem with regards to anti-Semitism. Again, I've got some nuanced thoughts on that. It's sort of like the first shot didn't quite hit, like you get hit in the shoulder, so they took the second shot. That's sort of what it is here. Although, to see somebody woke who's a diversity hire getting canned by Harvard, not really a loss to anyone. Again, I've got so many nuanced thoughts today. Jesus fucking Christ. We've got Fox News is going to be hosting Donald Trump on January 10th. I will probably be live reacting to that. This is right ahead of the Iowa caucus. They're throwing him this boon. I'm sure that they'll grill him. It's going to be with Brett Baer and Martha McCallum, the latter of which will probably be more or less, forthcoming and honest in interacting with Trump. Brett Baer does not appear to be a particular fan of his, so he's sort of stepping into the lion's den. Fox News has not really gotten aboard the Trump train, it seems. It could be because of Murdoch or any of the other executives there. They seem to viscerally hate him. We'll be talking about that. What it means, what it doesn't mean, etc. And then Charlemagne the God regrets backing Kamala Harris for VP, says she disappeared in the Biden administration and has no plans to endorse the Biden-Harris ticket in 2024. So, yeah, we've got some fun stuff to cover today. As always, quite literally, a bunch of super chats here. Jesus Christ. Let me get through them. The bonus holes. Make the chat Portland again, and then a couple of poop emojis. Or San Francisco or Seattle or any of those other cities out there. Billy, pee-pee is stored in the balls. Fact. I have heard of this, my friend. Hello, my fellow N-words. Vivek is live on InfoWars right now with Alex Jones. That sounds pretty fun. I'll have to catch a recap later, though, because I'm kind of live streaming myself at the moment. You're advertising my competition. I don't mind. I like Alex Jones. I find him funny. It's funny. Jesus, there's so many people that have to stick up their ass about him. He was right on J6 now, wasn't he? Hey, he's on the blowhorn. Don't go into the building. That's a bad idea. People still pretend that he's an extremist or that he's a plant or something like that. He was trying to save people from federal prison. I respect him. He's gotten a raw fucking deal. He's got some weird beliefs, but I mean, don't we all? I think that we do. I know that I've got a few. It's just the way that the world works. Brian James, Brett Baer is an opportunistic bootlicker. Yeah, exactly. That's my problem with him. And he's got those squinty eyes too, and the big ears that makes him look kind of like a chimpanzee or something. Sort of like a W knockoff or something like that. The Great Scalzini saw an ad on the new tech today. What the fuck, Sticks? Lol. An ad on the new tech today. Was it on Rumble or BitChute or where? I do actually take ad revenue on Rumble, to be clear, and I do allow ads on my BitChute content. I signed a no ad pledge. Well, not really signed, but I pledged to people on video that I would never take YouTube ad revenue, and I've held to that for years. Probably screwing myself out of the better part of $500,000 in the process. Just saying it would have been lucrative. But I felt it was inappropriate. I didn't want to do that. I have no problem with taking ads out on new tech sites, though, so long as they hold the line with regards to free expression. Should they deviate from that in any significant fashion, I will reconsider my options. But I have not taken a no ad pledge on Rumble or on BitChute. Yeah. It's I don't have any problem with them making some money off my content. I mean, they're hosting my content. You know, they get a cut of the super chats, the Rumble rants, etc., and a cut of the proceeds from the audience that I'm generating. I have no problem with that. The reason is, by the time I was eligible for ad revenue on YouTube, they were already screwing with the ad system anyway, and so I figured it's like, you know, who gives a shit? And I use ad blocker, so you know, I don't want to be a hypocrite. Sigilstone. Sticks, I'm sending a SWAT to your house. Scat, weapons, and tactics. Uh-oh. There's going to be... Now Sigilstone is pooping on me. You know, apparently I need more undead friends. Reed Weber. Alex Jones video game out on Steam today. Looks very amusing. Kind of like a Mario-style game. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the first ad for that. And it does look pretty fucking funny, yeah. Astroclass 98. Good afternoon, Sticks. Have you ever read or edited anything by William Atkinson or Rudolf Steiner? Thoughts on their works? Atkinson, no. Steiner, yes. A couple of works, actually. The most notable, The Occult Significance of Blood. I have it actually physically. I transcribed that one myself. I have it in my collection. Very, very good work. Intriguing sort of eugenics era tract with regards to, well, a little bit of everything. Civics, culture, biology, you name it. Rudolf Steiner's Occult Significance of Blood. Highly recommended. Aquafan. Vivek needs to be VP or cabinet. Who will be Trump after Trump? Vivek needs a chance to prove he walks the walk. We can see if he's worthy of 2028. I don't think he should be running mate, but if he gets a cabinet position, I think that would be good. Make him Pete Buttigieg's replacement. Baron Von Blair. Boom shakalaka. Is it the shoes? He's on fire. Clank. Lots of clanking going on. By the way, I forgot my energy drink somehow. I don't know where the fuck I left it. Could be in the breezeway, could be in the bedroom, but sadly it's not here. So I'm caffeine deprived at the moment. Caspergers, Wyoming. Hey, Sticks, are you aware of Gothic King Cobra's magic? And can you cast a spell to end his dry spell? Thanks for all the great videos. Gothic King Cobra. Never heard of him or her or them. I'm not sure. No, never heard of him. Sounds cool, though. Gothic King Cobra. Yeah. As long as there's some Gothian going on, yeah, sign me up. Anyway, the first news story, we'll get into this. Epstein list delayed as court grants Doe 107 a 30-day extension to submit evidence regarding allegations of physical harm and hate mail via Gateway Pundit. Another distraction, by the way. I've talked about this now 3 times. The upcoming release of the Epstein list is effectively bullshit. It is nothing more than a distraction. It's not going to result in you getting any information that you don't already have. For instance, with Bill Clinton, he's named like 50 times in these documents. But we knew he went to Epstein Island. We already knew that. We knew that he was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. We know that he's a pervert. We're aware of this fact through numerous allegations, including those that were actually litigated. We're aware of these things. The fact that he's listed in the documents means absolutely nothing. You could be listed in the Epstein documents because somebody brought your name up by happenstance, and it gets redacted. Now they're trying to unredact the names. I don't think that you're going to get anything out of this. And but I am interested in thinking, who do you think Doe 107 actually is? I know some people are saying Oprah. I actually doubt that. But if anyone has any cool, bright ideas, I would love to see in the comments who you think that Doe 107 is. So they've been granted an extension, and they're capable now of filing and slowing down the proceedings even more potentially. We'll see exactly where it goes. If the list is actually released, keep in mind, this isn't even a flight manifest. It's certainly not the little black book of Jeffrey Epstein and who owed him money because he blackmailed them or anything like that. This is a legal filing, one that was already released in more heavily redacted form, and we simply didn't have all of the names. The only thing that's changing right now is that the names that are mentioned largely are going to be released. They involve victims, so Virginia Giuffre and so forth. They involve investigators. They involve lawyers and so forth, people that are involved in the legal system, and probably Jeffrey Epstein's employees and people like that. Well, none of those people are perverts. I mean, hopefully, some might be, but, Jeffrey Epstein's cook may not have been on the up and up of what was happening at the lavish party he was catering. Jeffrey Epstein's toilet attendant probably was not invited to the grand ball where they were, having an underage teen orgy or something like that. So I'm interested in seeing who Doe 107 is, assuming that we see it at all. I'm wondering what people think. Apparently it's a female. This is a Jane Doe. So this is somebody in the filings. We're not sure if victim or perpetrator. The filings are a little weird, by the way. Row House, Sticks, will the swatting issue ever be addressed the way it should be? Maybe an example of someone like 20-year prison sentence. What would stop the swatting the left keeps doing? Make it so that if it's an anonymous call or something like that, if there's no identification, automatically trace it, number one. Give it a lower priority, number two. The police should not be able to force entry into a property without permission, even on such a call. And legally speaking, they can't. Like in my case, they requested to search the property. The request was granted because there's nothing going on and no illegal shit going on here. The next time they showed up, they didn't even bother to search. And then the final time, they didn't even show up. This is small town America. It's a little bit different. Apparently, Soros got swatted the other day. They actually did sweep the property. Jonathan Shadow. I would like to ask one of these Christians, like Shemesh, if they woke up and the Bible read that people could only have gay sex and be gay married, what would they do with their sex life and female partner? That's a good question. I mean, the human race would disappear fairly quickly anyway because there'd be no procreation going on. So, Johnny Bravo. Hey, Sticks, what are your thoughts if Trump is assassinated? What do you think will happen? Absolute chaos, actually. I think that would be a tipping point. Classic Bassman. What should I do about the religious harassment in the workplace? Ever since one of my coworkers found I'm an atheist, he's been trying to shove his beliefs down my throat. Well, you can make an HR complaint, I suppose, or something like that. Or you can just say, look, I'm not interested in your religion. I appreciate your concern for my soul and so forth. If you want to pray with me or for me, that's fine. But I've got a job to do. I'm here to make money. Or you can pretend to be a devil worshiper. They'd probably leave you alone really quick. Two Dogs, Mike D. 107 might be Kimmel. No, this is a female individual. This is a Jane Doe. He's going off on Aaron Rodgers. I did see that for calling him a pedo, saying that he's been receiving threats, etc. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel seems abnormally angry right now, doesn't he? That's not at all telling, by the way. The Man Show host is alleged to be a bit of a pervert. Yeah. He's reacting the wrong way. It looks a little bit sus. I'm not saying that Jimmy Kimmel's into that sort of shit. I don't know if he went to Epstein Island. I don't believe that it's likely that he's in the filings. But, when you react in that particularly over-the-top hyperbolic manner, I'm going to sue you and, I'm getting death threats and stuff. Does seem a little bit weird now, doesn't it? Alamandorius. Hey, Sticks, you saw Razor Fist's video on Abraham Lincoln, right? Yeah, I've seen it 7 or 8 times. Maybe show it to Tim ahead of the show on the 6th. Also, Happy New Year's to you and clankers everywhere. It is not on the 6th that I'm going on Timcast. It is at the ass end of the month. I believe the 30th is when I'm flying out. If I remember correctly. Either that or I had a brain fart or something. Holy shit, I better look up my message thread. Opinionated Junkie. Facebook is good for buying stuff. Nah, fuck that shit. eBay is for the win. Bocephus. Sticks. Great discussion with Catholic verses. I learned new things. Also, you and he will be happy to hear about Matt Christensen's shampoo and conditioner. Yeah, I mean, if he's got a shampoo, maybe I'll try it out. Right now, I just basically use whatever I happen to grab while my glasses are off and spray it all over my head. And there we go. It's all good. Dimos117, The Times, 3 Jan 2009. Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. Bitcoin Genesis block 15 years young. Scott Steiner, the world's greatest ring announcer. Sleazy P on Sunday says he wants to live stream with you. Maybe a new tech exclusive stream so you can talk about topics, black metal mythos, abolishing the DEA, and crack quality. Keep on homesteading. Yes, I emailed Sleazy the other day. He will be coming aboard my show, and he's got a couple of tech issues that he needs to work on, and then I'm going to be going on his show, actually, at some point. I like Sleazy. Essential Liberty. Huge thank you to you and Clankers for support. 10% off promo code CLANK at mtpew.com. Grandpa Nurgle. Greetings from Maine. Welcome back to the North Country. Happy New Year. Yeah, Maine, not necessarily the land of liberty at the moment, unfortunately. By the way, I talked to Anton in Roanoke, Texas earlier, so I'm giving him a shout out here. He's sending me more meat. Believe it or not, I think he's going to be sending some of the Wagyu as well. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I think the plan is to have some ahead of Timcast, actually. Hopefully, maybe some of the ghost pepper biltong. Give that to Tim, see how he copes with it, how spicy he'd probably handle it, I would think. But yes, you can go to landofbiltong.com or antonsusa.com. They've got lots and lots of meat and meat accessories. Those are important, as well as some Sticks merch. There are the cups, tumblers, and, of course, shirts available there. In fact, I wore one earlier when I went to the gas station. It's, I think, in the other room, so I don't have it right now. I prefer to be shirtless when I'm live streaming. I decided to bring back the spirit of 2016. That's what I'm talking about. I just wish I had my energy drink. Len Renown, I finally caught your live stream. Take some money. Very gladly, thank you. Alamandorius, no, sorry, you're right. Something else is going on in the 6th for me, and it's pretty prominent in my brain. Lol, change to ahead of the show at the end of the month. Well, congrats on whatever it is. Hopefully it's a good time. Johnny Bravo, Tim Pool thinks woke is dying. Do you think wokeness is dying? What do you think is going to replace it? Right-wing craziness? Authoritarianism comes and goes. I've talked about moral panics before, and wokeness is part of one. But it's more pervasive because it's being funded by international communism, actually, which really is, at this point, more international fascism. It's an attaché of globalism. So it'll change form, but the authoritarianism will remain, and we'll have to be hyper-vigilant about the next wave that comes. Couch. Are you going to buy chickens like Tim since you are back in the States? It's possible. Now, I actually I got a piece of mail from another subscriber. It's over here, but I won't use his name because I don't know whether he wants me to use it. And he gave me some tips with regards to chickens. Namely, if they find soft, open soil, they will dig a hole and take a dirt bath. They will dig up and eat any seeds you plant and any brassica they find. They really like kale, and they won't eat potato beetles. He was giving me some advice on chickens, sort of, keep them away from the brassica, I suppose. Keep them away from the broccoli and so forth. So, yeah, I might. I really want a pet goat more than anything else, though. Two Dogs, Mike D. Matt Christensen's shampoo is supposedly quite the ball tingler. Oh, goodness. K-Max McDonald, Sticks, will Nikki Haley have a support collapse in the primary or actually be second place? How does Nikki Haley go from here? We must try to defeat her at all costs. We unfortunately don't have any particular new polling since her Civil War gaffe. I think there was one sort of one-off poll, and that's basically all we have. I'm going to wait a few more days. I expect that she will have leveled out and possibly declined some. It doesn't matter if she takes second, though. Nobody can stop Trump at this point. Endless Vertigo. Keep mentioning the 2026 vehicle kill switch drunk driver prevention snuck into the infrastructure bill. Longtime listener and needed to send some support finally. Thank you for that. Yes, I mentioned that earlier. By 2026, what they're trying to do is phase in a kill switch on all vehicles so that they can be remotely switched off. That this is a monumentally bad idea should be fairly clear. It need say no more. Ministry of Wrongthink. There's been countless shows and movies with non-Christian characters doing dubious acts while in churches and wearing crosses for decades. What's with the sudden crusade against women being around crosses while also having boobs? I don't know anything about a crusade against boobied women with crosses on. I don't know. I don't really watch modern movies for the most part. The bonus holes. Eat the biltong. Yes, somebody was asking what biltong is. It is a form of meat that has been brined and air dried. It's a preservation method from South Africa. And it is goddamn delicious. It's better than any beef jerky that you've ever eaten, that's for sure. Libertarian Spirit. Hi, Sticks. Well, hello, Libertarian Spirit. Michael Cricklow. I finally ordered the biltong sampler a couple weeks ago, and it was amazing. Chili flavored was my favorite. We'll definitely order again. Try the ghost pepper if you're brave enough. I consider it a 4 out of 10 on the spicy scale, but I tend towards tolerating spice more than most people. I mean, I've got these here for a reason. I'm not looking forward to those. I'm sure they're not as good as the biltong, but you know, it is spicy. It definitely lingers for a while. Some good shit. Oh, there's Anton. Speak of the devil. Let's see. King of Biltong. Good afternoon from Anton's in Roanoke, Texas. Free shipping for your biltong using code STICKS on www.landofbiltong.com and www.antonsusa.com. Thanks to Clankers Jim, JR, Katrina, and Jeff Johnson, Matt, and DJ. Apparently, there's a ton of Clankers in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Never would have guessed. And a follow-up. Matt Jones, Les, Corey, Lane, and some more for visiting. That's a mouthful. Thank you, everyone, for the awesome support you've showed us this holiday season. Hashtag Clank Nation. I am going to make it down to Roanoke, Texas to go see Anton, by the way, probably sometime this early spring, late winter. Late winter, probably, because I'm like, I can get some sunshine. It'll be 75, 80 degrees. I could probably use a little bit of a lift sometime around February or something. So, yeah, Clankers, stay tuned. I might announce that beforehand. Maybe we can get a biltong and get together. I'll buy some biltong, and then we just sit there and eat it all. Jordan Cogburn. Biltong is one of those weird words like merkin or microb. It's a tasty word, though. Trust me. Lots and lots of meat. Next news story, by the way, now we're almost 25 fucking minutes in. The FBI tainted Whitmer kidnap plot you've never heard next to nothing about. This is from RCI, Real Clear Investigations. I'm not fixated on the article itself. It's interesting, and it talks about like the FBI connections that we now know do exist with regards to the Whitmer kidnapping plot. It was entrapment. Quite clearly, it was entrapment. The problem is that the exposing of that entrapment just happened to coincide with the election, which means it's shenanigans. That was not coincidental. They weren't trying to protect Whitmer. It probably wouldn't have cared if she did get kidnapped and assassinated or something. That would have been convenient for them, too. If I were Whitmer, by the way, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, okay, the feds literally set me up to be potentially killed in order to screw Orange Man. Well, that doesn't sit well with me. And that appears to be indeed what did happen. What I'm warning of, this is preemptive, this is predictive. Look out in the especially few weeks ahead of the 2024 election. If you see something like this happening, because it's all too convenient, the timing involved, there's probably Fed involvement. They will probably attempt to do it again. Whether or not they're successful, of course, is a different story. They will probably try to entrap some MAGA fans into, I don't know, kidnapping Newsom or something like that. It wouldn't be beyond the realm of, I mean, they've already done it, so it's not beyond the realm of the pale. She could have, by the way, to salty indignation, it's possible she might have been involved, knowing that there was no risk to herself. But if not, if I was her, I'd be pissed as fuck. Yeah. People are speculating that she knew, but do you really think that they cared if she lived or died? I mean, if she dies, it has even 10 times more political impact. Maybe they're sad that she didn't get shot. Maybe they're sad that the plotters that they were entrapping and grooming into this position didn't manage to pull off their task or something like that. And it's like, Whitmer is an ass fuck in all possible ways, probably in the literal sense, too. I oppose all forms of political violence, but the violence is really being fomented by FBI agents and handlers, by law enforcement. And so I'm just warning people that it's entirely possible that will happen in 2024 as well. So be very careful when you look at the news cycle. If you see something that's a little bit sus, there's probably a reason for that. We've seen that for years now anyway. Why would I think that this election will be any different? Libertarian spirit. Do you know Mikhail Zvetov? He's a Russian libertarian who escaped to Brazil. I think you both have a lot in common. No, not familiar with the dude. I have to look it up just a sec. Mikhail. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Mikhail Zvetov. Thank you for that. I'll look that up in a bit. Aquafan was talking to my girlfriend's grandma for gardening advice. Apparently, I should start my seeds next week here in Florida. Last year, I started in March with only minor success. She's had great success. Depends on whether it's a cold or hot weather crop, the kind of soil, and the expected weather conditions. But yeah, you don't wait till March, I think, in Florida. Carson 87. K-switch on cars? I'm glad I work on my own cars. Just buy a used Toyota. It will last 1 billion miles. The globalists can cope and seethe while my Corolla runs forever and outlasts those old fuckers. Yeah, I've got an Avalon. And that's age old at this point and runs perfectly fine. Aquafan, the hardest part about gardening is filtering advice by location. So many gardening websites run by northerners. Yeah, I know. I remember down there, the little urn plants, those bromeliads, the cup-shaped ones, they grow wild like outdoors. Here you have to grow them inside in a pot. Jake, greetings from a 7-minute drive away, hoping for a wild stick sighting. If you ever stop into the bakery on West Street, whatever you get is on me. I'm going to look that up too. Thanks. Bakery, West Street, Rutland, Vermont. That's pretty cool. You mean the bakery? I don't know. You can DM me on Twitter as well with the exact name of it. I don't want to go to the wrong one and give your competitors money. I'll be sad. T-Finger, thank you for content over the holidays. Oh, there is much, much more to come, including today. Twin bomb blasts near Iran General Qasem Soleimani's tomb kill 73, according to state TV. I believe that has been revised upwards now. It looked, the last update that I saw, it was like 140 dead and several hundred were injured. This one said that 73 people were dead and 171 were wounded. Of course, that includes both little wounds and big wounds, so hopefully more on the little side. And what I would like to say is this. When Donald Trump had Soleimani killed, when he had him drone struck and vaporized, basically, I opposed it, in principle, at least. I don't have a problem with killing a major general in a foreign nation that is outright hostile towards the U.S., in the general sense. I just felt that it was unhelpful. Number one, better the devil that you know. Number two, while I recognize that Trump was doing it effectively in a symbolic sense, much like with the Syrian airbase strikes, basically to say, hey, Nothing is beyond my reach. I can kill you at a moment's notice, so fucking shut the hell up and leave us alone. I get that. I get the big stick diplomacy sort of aspect too, which I generally support. The problem is that you really didn't have a direct justification for it at the time. With this, you have even less, though. Now, most of the people that were killed or wounded here are just going to be civilians. There will be kids. In fact, there was pictures of several dead children and women, things like that. The fact that somebody in Iran may like Soleimani or generally praise the Iranian government in trying to fuck around with U.S. troops or kill Jews or something, the fact that they may applaud that does not mean that I think that they should have a death warrant sign. And again, that'll be most of the bulk of people here that were killed or injured. It's also terrible optics. Now, as far as who did it, who left the apparently package bombs by the side of the road on which they were parading. They're parading along mourning Soleimani's death. It runs the gamut. You're going to see a lot of, it was obviously Israel if you go on Twitter, but that's not clear. It could have been the Israelis. Certainly it could have been Mossad. It could have been a lone actor who was just psycho. It's always possible. Al-Qaeda would be one of the possibilities. ISIS would be another possibility, although not as likely because their coordination at this point is pretty lackluster. It could have been the United States actually as well, or some other Western nation. And so we're not exactly sure who perpetrated this bombing, this dual bombing of the parade route. It's rather sad, though, because, again, most of the people dead will be civilians. The fact that they're mourning Soleimani, we may disagree with their belief about Soleimani being a martyr or being, some great leader or something. Certainly, I don't believe that. But that doesn't mean that a bunch of kids have to get splattered. And so I have to condemn it anyway. Alarian Horizon. Will DeSantoids become more deranged after Iowa? No, they will go through the final stages of grief and come back to the fold, I think, by and large. Libertarian Spirit. He recently interviewed Spencer. He is quite open for streams. Oh, that'd be cool. Russian expat in Brazil. Bo Cephas. Clankers, build your goat armies. Victory 2024. Yeah. Dutch Schaefer, 1 to 10 scale. How confident are you in a Trump win? I would say at this moment, a 7 out of 10. Reasonably confident at this moment. But we need more polling. We need more information. Sigil Stone, the next time we start building our own cars to outrun the feds, hopefully we get something out of it that doesn't fucking suck like NASCAR. Scott Steiner, the world's greatest ring announcer. Once the gun and carry issues are resolved, what will the anti-gunners do next? Will they advocate for sin taxing and rationing ammo like Chris Rock's joke? Hillary is 107. Also, tips on grafting plants. I've not done a lot of grafting. My grandfather was a master at it to the point where UVM's plant and soil science department were sending students here to watch him graft apple trees and stuff. So I can't really give grafting tips because I've not really done that much. When the gun issues are resolved, yeah, they'll just move on to the next ones. And as far as Hillary being 107, I actually doubt that. I don't think that Hillary Clinton is a pedophile. I highly doubt that. Also, who's going to do a death threat towards a former First Lady / Secretary of State? You'd have to be insane to do it. Ministry of Wrongthink. I'm referring to Calendar Gate and people's reactions to Isabella De Luca, who some people on the right were mad because she wore a cross while her shirt was immodest despite covering everything. Yeah, Calendar Gate's bullshit. You've got pretty ladies, and they're basically posing in pinup mode. I mean, it's less revealing than what you got from Marilyn Monroe, 70 years ago or something. Who gives a shit? Who cares? Rogan, Alex, get on Discord. Nelson's TASS and Game Archive. Hassan Nasrallah, Secretary General of Hezbollah, announced 8 minutes ago they're going hot with the IDF over the Beirut bomb yesterday. Open war in the coming days. I'll believe it when I goddamn see it because you see a whole lot of hot, spicy bants between the Israelis and Hezbollah, and you have for a very long time. I'll report on it. Hassan Nasrallah. Thank you for giving me all sorts of news tips, by the way, everyone. I always appreciate that while I'm streaming because then it helps me set up for the subsequent stream. Libertarian Spirit, thanks, Sticks. Always a joy to listen to you when hiking. Oh, you should be listening to the birds and shit when you're hiking. I hate the fact that I have to bring my phone out when I'm hiking. The only thing I use it for is taking pictures of mushrooms, though. Jason Lord Surratt sticks the only political OnlyFans. Yeah, I decided to show a little skin because it's fun. The Side Showman 212. I never get to see your streams in person, and unfortunately today does not seem to be any exception. So here's $10. I hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And to you too, and thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do schedule-wise. It seems that people don't mind this midday schedule either, so it's like, there is less competition for the stream because nobody else is alive at this moment. Jack Price, here's to the new year. Clankers, bought my first house last month, and I'm taking a defensive rifle class in March. Nice. Let's see. Sigilstone. You got to give Trump credit for how he took out Salami. Not a drone to kill a bunch of kids and commit an atrocity, but a fucking ninja missile that shat knives and jinzued the fucker. Metal as hell. Yeah, I mean, you did avoid civilian casualties, so. Next news story. Harvard's president has resigned. Claudine Gay, of course. Yeah, fitting. Over the plagiarism charges against her. Apparently, multiple papers were hoodwinked from other sources. However, I would like to point a couple things out. First is that the AP was reporting on this. I'm going to read this tweet verbatim. Harvard's president's resignation highlights new conservative weapon against colleges, plagiarism, as though she didn't actually plagiarize things and wasn't being called to step down by the student body as well. The students at Harvard called for her to step down. The investors at Harvard called for her to step down. Members of Congress called for her to step down. This was not a right-wing attack or something like that. It begs the question, insinuation, is that conservatives are weaponizing plagiarism charges against university presidents. Oh my God. The reason why she ended up stepping down, though, is not the plagiarism, because the plagiarism is ex post facto. Why she stepped down was the anti-Semitism charge against her. The original, this is weeks before the plagiarism stuff arose. Originally, it was when she was giving testimony with regards to Harvard and hatred of Jews, she fumbled it for optical purposes. And that sealed her death warrant as an academic. Now, where will she fall up to next? Probably an MSNBC slaughter. Yeah, maybe AOC will take her on as a campaign advisor or something. Plagiarism really was just the excuse to get rid of her in the end. They realized, hey, we're going to piss the student body off if we shit can her or force her to stand down based on the fact that she has some wonky views with regards to Israel. But that was the reason. The plagiarism was just the goddamn cover story. You can goddamn guarantee it and take it to the goddamn bank. That's why she got shit canned. Not that I care, because she's woke and far leftoid and, has no business in being in higher education. But yeah, it wasn't the plagiarism. Do you realize how common plagiarism is among academics? It happens all the goddamn fucking time. That's not why she stood down. That was the cover. Basically, they came in and said, look, now we've got plausible deniability of why, it's because of your comments on Israel that we have a problem with you. But you also plagiarized this document 20 years ago, and so you need to go bye-bye. Don't worry, we'll let you keep your year's salary. And by the way, apparently they are doing that. So yeah, she'll... she's staying on as a professor of African American Studies, according to the dull one. That doesn't surprise me, but she has no more doctrinal power there. So it's good that she's gone. It's just, be forthcoming about the reason why she's gone. It was her Jew statements. It wasn't the plagiarism. Absolutely not. You got to be crazy if you think that it was. Apache, yo Sticks, what are your thoughts? Yo little Sticks, what are your thoughts on VTubers, and would you ever do a streamer interview with one? I'll streamer interview with a VTuber. I'm not into it myself, though. I prefer to just be myself. It's the only thing I can be. Textured Puma. Shout out to Austin Bonta, our new Republican mayor who exposed that our recycling program is an expensive scam. Our garbage and recycling go to the same landfill. Apparently, this is very common. Yeah, there aren't many states or municipalities that really take it seriously. Vermont, I will give credit where credit is due, actually does. They've also got mandatory composting, which is one of the few things on which I'm like, am I really a libertarian? Because it does sound like a good idea. Yeah. G-Phaser, 7 out of 10 for Trump, regardless of if he gets imprisoned. Yes, I believe that Trump would have a better than 50-50 chance, even if he's put in a prison cell. In fact, I'm not 100% sure it wouldn't help his re-election bid at this point, considering how sick the system is and how fickle the public is. I'm having a great time. Alamandorius, fumbled it? Sticks, I didn't realize you were British. She slipped, fell, and tumbled down the stairs of what the fuck did you say? Yeah, exactly. She made a huge goddamn boo-boo oopsie, and that was, they already wanted to remove her, and you know that. The investors started fleeing, and Harvard said, fuck, and then they said, cunt, and then they said, oh, shit. And so then they said, thank God she plagiarized somebody's work 10 years ago, because now we have a reason to remove her that's just strictly academic, and we don't have to do the culture war thing. The people of Harvard need to know is she was removed for her original statements with regards to Israel and Jews. It wasn't because of the plagiarism, but it was convenient for them. P-Dog Knight, back to her old Harvard job, back for $890K a year. Yeah, I mean, I feel so sorry for her. She's suffering terribly. But getting her removed as president of Harvard, yeah, it's a step in the right direction. Not that the next one that comes along won't be woke too, but, you know, we can always, we'll wait and see. Next news story on January 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, there will be a Fox News town hall with Donald Trump. I am probably going to be live streaming it. My reaction to it specifically. I'll maybe that day I won't do my earlier stream or something like that. Actually, January 10th, what day of the week is that? Yeah, that's a Wednesday. Okay. So normally I would stream. Next Wednesday, though, I will probably do an evening stream, and I'll just have the Trump Town Hall. I'll have my earbuds in, of course. I'll be listening to it, and then I'll live react to it or something like that. Maybe I'll have a guest on. Maybe I'll show infographics, statistics, etc. on the side tab. I've enjoyed doing that in the past. It was very, very fun, but I didn't have the ability to do it because, you know, when you have a kid around, you can't really go at 9 p.m. And when you're on a European time zone, that would be about 6 o'clock in the morning. That would be a little bit difficult for somebody like me who suffers from insomnia. Thankfully, I don't need an alarm clock. I wake up at exactly 7 o'clock every morning, regardless of what happens, but I do actually need sleep. I realize that I'm occult-minded. I'm woven with magic, but I still need sleep. And to eat, and mostly it agrees with me, thankfully. Let's see. P-Dog Knight, autocorrect, grape. I was watching The Grapist last night. Have you ever seen The Grapist? It's I can't remember. It's from The Whitest Kids You Know. It was a comedy way back in the day. I think it's fucking 15 years old or something. And they had a thing where they were advertising for some sort of grape flavored product rather. And the dude comes in, he smashes through the wall. He's like, I'm going to grape you. I'm the grapist. I'm going to tie you to the radiator and grape you. And then I'm going to grape your parents. And it's a funny skit. Yeah, Whitest Kids You Know. It's funny. Look up The Grapist if you want some cheap humor. That's exactly the sort of humor you could not make today. There's only fucking woke tards out there. Trevor Moore. Yeah, I guess he died. So, yeah, with Fox News, we'll be probably going live with that. I say probably. I mean, I'm going to see how I feel because, you know, toward that time of day, usually I'm like, you know, I'm winding down. But boy, oh boy, did I miss it. It's almost like kind of wish that I was on a more Western time zone. So it'd be like maybe like 5 o'clock or something like that. Maybe I need to go to California for a weekend or something like that. Then I would definitely get swatted or harassed by Antifa, though. So, you know, probably wouldn't work out. Go to Idaho. All right, everyone. I'm in Boise. I'm going to be live streaming the election results. That would be funny. I've got a bag of potatoes behind me. I'm not afraid to use them. And none of them are Joe Biden. The bonus holes. Whitest Kids You Know is the greatest show ever. Rip Trevor Moore. By the way, check out his song, Time for Guillotines. I think that I've actually seen that. Yeah, no, The Grapist is like one of the great. I saw that years and years ago. And when I first saw it, I think I was high at the time. And I was laughing my ass off. Midwest Mystic. I went to high school with Timmy from Whitest Kids You Know. A funny guy. He went full woke, though. Yeah, as long as you're humorous, it's fine. Lord of the Ree. WKUK is amazing. The Civil War on Drugs is one of my favorite movies. Rip Trevor Moore. Stephen 13. Watch What a Fallfist. I'll have to watch it. What a Fallfist. So yeah, we'll be talking about Donald, the delegates, Donald. Quick, take the delegates. Tom Paulin, 787. January 10th will be busy. Fox Trump Town Hall. CNN also ran Town Hall. And Vivek Timcast Town Hall. Oh, shit. Well, I'll be watching Trump. No offense to Tim, but I'll be watching Trump that day. Nobody gives a fuck about the CNN also ran stuff. And if Ramaswamy is not there, because he didn't, I think, make the debate stage, okie dokie then. It is Nikki Haley, the neocon, DeSantis, the sourpuss, and Chris Christie, the I'm only here for the buffet candidates, mumbling at each other for an extended period of time. I'm sure their ratings will be spectacular. No, I'll probably watch the Trump town hall. I may pay some attention to the Vivek Timcast town hall, though. That'd be good. Can't wait to go on Timcast myself. It's going to be funny. And then the final news story. Charlemagne the God regrets backing Kamala Harris for VP, says she disappeared in the Biden administration and has no plans to endorse the Biden-Harris ticket in 2024. By the way, that's actually rather stinging. Of course, he had endorsed them before. Somewhat begrudgingly, it seemed. When he was talking, I think it was him, talking to Biden the first time. Remember, Biden had that quip, well, if you haven't chosen who you're going to back, then you ain't black. And we knew what he meant. What he meant was basically, look, Donald Trump is a racist, so clearly no black person has not already made up their mind. But he's just not good at delivery because he's not very coherent. Now is he? Kamala, somehow even worse. The funny thing is that his problem seems to be that Kamala is not more at the forefront, as opposed to an ideological problem like, hey, the economy sucks, the border sucks, foreign diplomacy sucks, etc. And basically, it's just an old white cracker that has the token black around for appearance purposes. That doesn't seem to be the problem. It's Charlemagne, the host of The Breakfast Club, also told the outlet he had no plans to endorse President Biden Harris in 24, as he felt burned over his endorsement. I've learned my lesson from doing that, he told Politico. Once they got in the White House, she kind of disappeared. I mean, she did. Although largely, I hope he understands it's of her own volition. She's well aware of the fact that she's not likable and that she's not particularly rhetorically talented. When I give people my word, like, yo, man, I think we should be supporting Kamala Harris for vice president because she's going to hold it down. When we say those things and people don't see her holding it down, that causes issues, Charlemagne continued. Yeah, I can imagine. He also said he still receives backlash over his 2020 endorsement. Damn, you told us to vote for them. Do you know how many people say that to me all the time? He said. The radio host endorsed the ticket in 2020 because Biden chose Harris as his running mate. That was your first mistake. The Democrats are good at hoodwinking people with id poll. I'm voting for Kamala Harris. I'll tell you that in a heartbeat. I'm not necessarily voting for Joe Biden. I'm voting for Senator Kamala Harris, he said at the time. Well, again, that's a second mistake. I don't know why you would want to vote for Kamala Harris. Maybe he thought Biden would croak by now. I mean, it's not exactly the least fair bet that you could make. You know, you get this dude, he's pushing 80 years old. He's clearly got cognitive issues. It looks kind of like they want to replace him anyway. And then he falls down the stairs multiple times while campaigning and up the stairs and in his shower chasing the dog to try to grab its tail. Maybe he thought, hey, you know, I don't have to care about what Joe Biden is going to do because, you know, Kamala will be running the show. I don't vote based on id poll. I wouldn't vote for or against a person based on the color of their skin or their genitals or something like that, or who they want to fuck, because I just don't give a shit. Unfortunately, a lot of people do. That's really one of the main problems in the country above all else. People get rope-a-doped into that. The only group that's not allowed to exteriorly possess any id poll, straight white males, actually, when you think about it. But yeah, Charlemagne the God, he regrets his endorsement, and that's good. That's helpful. Because it does have a good viewership and people will potentially listen to him politically. I guess, I mean, in his case, it almost sounds like the backlash against him personally was the reason for not making the endorsement. He's like, well, I kind of lean towards liberal politics and stuff, but I can't this time because I'm going to alienate part of my audience. They're going to get pissed at me. Isn't that funny? I find it funny. I don't know about you. Alamandorius, oh, come on. With the Also Ran Town Hall, you could bill it as a comedy special live stream. Just make continuous fun of them. Yeah, but the thing is, like, conceive of who's on stage.
if Ramaswamy were going to be there, he could get under somebody's skin, and maybe he gets Nikki Haley to say something stupid like with her heels or ammunition comment some time ago. That was bizarre, and I don't think we ever got closure on that. Chris Christie is an attack dog. He'll launch off some zingers, but he's a reasonably good speaker. It's hard to get under his skin. Nikki Haley is rhetorically talented. Hate her guts as far as ideology goes, but rhetorically speaking, she's good at speaking in general. Ron DeSantis is not particularly charismatic, but he doesn't tend to make a lot of errors. So if I wanted a comedy special, I don't think I would watch the Also Ran town hall because all three candidates are pretty formulaic. We already know how they're effectively. Nikki Haley will win on rhetoric. Ron DeSantis will break even. Chris Christie will refuse to even discuss the issues and just talk about Orange Man and maybe attack the other candidates a couple times. Ta-da! I just literally predicted the 100% of the content of the town hall with these people. So I'd rather watch Trump, because if Trump's in a town hall at Fox, they might try to wheedle him. They might try to screw him in the back. He might launch off on them. He might say crazy shit. The Tim Pool Ramaswamy town hall will be more entertaining than the CNN town hall with the Also Rans. Guaranteed. Nobody's who the fuck would want to watch that? You've got two choices. Watch Trump and or my reaction to Trump, which I think will be amusing too, or watch Timcast with Ramaswamy. They're probably all coked up and stuff because Ramaswamy, he bounces around a little bit too much for a sober man. Maybe some amphetamines involved. And he'll say bombastic shit. He'll ridicule the other candidates probably because he's the only one that pledged that he would sit it out in Colorado if Trump wasn't on the ballot. That's still ongoing. He'll ridicule the RNC for keeping him out of the debate and say, well, you know, I'm coming here. I'm glad about being here as opposed to on that fucking debate stage. Probably more people will watch Ramaswamy than CNN during that slot. Timcast, he'll pull him in with Ramaswamy there. Absolutely. It's going to make Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and Chris Christie look mighty weak when they're outcompeted by the Fox Town Hall with Trump on one end, and then the Timcast Hall with Ramaswamy on the other, and they're sucking third tit. OrganizedBusinessServices.com. Sticks, I know you're going on Timcast. Watch yourself. For some reason, Cast is weird. His whole staff is out there. Maybe I'm weird. Just watch yourself. I've watched Timcast material. I've watched Tim's material. I like him. I don't have any problem with him. I don't understand. There are people that just don't like Tim Pool, and I'm like, I don't know. I disagree with him on some things. Like he tends to talk about Civil War a lot, and I don't agree with him on that. That doesn't mean I dislike the dude or distrust him or anything like that. I'm gonna have a great time, and then Cassandra's hopefully gonna bring over the pet monkey, so I get to pet a monkey maybe on live stream too. That'd be fun. I'll just have the monkey on top of my head during the appearance, and I'll bring Biltong. Maybe the monkey, I don't know if the monkey can eat biltong, though. Might make him sick. I should probably check about that first. Sebastian Monroe, warmongering pointing at Europe at wall map. See, Russia is over there. They can't harm me. Me moving their hand to the Bering Strait and Alaska. Yeah. Mark Galvin sent €2. No comment. Thank you. Latin Hero 1818. Can astrology be thought of as a primitive attempt to do epigenetics? Kind of. Yeah, I've mentioned that before. The time of year in which you're born, the allergens you're exposed to, etc. During the early stages of your life, yes, it could definitely play a role in genetic expression. It's not really been studied, though. They probably should, though. I mean, you get a large sample size there. Almondorius was thinking more about you making fun of them. Yeah, that would be fun, but the thing is, I mean, I would rather just hope that Trump says something zany, which, if he's being badgered by Brett Baer, is not entirely unlikely. I mean, it could have all three on, but I don't know how I would pay attention to them all. I'd probably be, I mean, if DeSantis is talking, I'll just be snoring. If Chris Christie is talking, then he's just throwing out a one-liner or something like that. We know how he's going to act. And then Nikki Haley will pontificate. Ramaswamy will be a bit off the chain, and so will Trump. So I think I prefer them. But I'm not going to snipe Tim's stream. Reed Weber, Charlemagne voted for Joe. You ain't black, Biden. Could you imagine if Trump said that? Yeah, just look at it. I mean, he talked about Cinco de Mayo and how Trump Tower had taco bowls, and he was considered a racist for that. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton talks in her Ebonic slang at the time. Well, I keep hot dog in my handbag, hun. Like a white plantation mother, and no trouble at all. Mark Galvin. Hey, bro, tell us about the time you saw a ghost. Were you scared? Yeah, I saw a ghost briefly when I was in Florida many years ago, and I assure you I was completely sober at the time. I don't even think I drank back then. It appeared to be a human from roughly the midriff to the knee or thereabouts, and it was kind of a translucent green color. And it walked across the goddamn room, and I was like, okay. I couldn't believe it at the time. Now, I don't think that it was a departed spirit. I don't believe in that element of ghost stories and stuff. I believe that, but I do believe in what I saw with my waking eyes. I was not asleep. I was not dreaming. I was perfectly sober and everything. I saw what I saw, much like I saw Stolas one time as a kid and saw a UFO. I just think that it was probably a satellite or something. With the ghost, I think it's remnant energy or something like that. I don't believe departed spirits hang around on Earth because I can't reason why they would want to. Twisted Logic Gaming. Yo, little sticks. When you dropping the rap album? Just have AI voiceover. Clank. That'd be funny. I don't know. I've never used AI, actually. Not done so. And now I've got a bunch of stuff over there for my docket, and I really, really appreciate it. Wasted Bonehead, good day from the grave. Clank, clank. Wasted. Sigil actually was trying to poop on my house earlier, so I think that we've got a scatophile on our hands. So I'm officially Team Undead at this time. Unless Sigil adopts a vegan diet and just poops in the garden, then it's okay. Virgil Shadow, do you think state capitalism is an oxymoron? To me, state capitalism sounds like socialism rebranded. What do you think? I agree mostly. It's just an element of fascism, really. Capitalism is, I decided to build a bridge. State capitalism is, I guess, the state compelled me to build a bridge and then paid me for my work. OrganizedBusinessServices.com. Just watch yourself. My business is to read people. Oh, no, I feel perfectly fine around Tim and his people. They seem cool. David E. Okay, after hearing you talk about biltong forever, I decided to look into it. That Wagyu XX Ghost Pepper looks great. I'm excited for my order. It is good. It is reasonably spicy. I would say it hits that perfect spot where it's spicy. Like, you know that it's spicy, but it's not unbearable. Like, you're not trying to just roast your mouth. You're trying to taste the product, but you want it also to be spicy. That's my own opinion. I mean, other people may think that it's too mild or too strong. It sort of depends on your palate. By the way, please send no more super chats. In a few minutes here, I will be going offline. Dave Laro, is Tim's monkey named Ian? No, they're actually Cassandra McDonald's monkeys. She has pet monkeys, actually. I think she has sort of like a little monkey rescue thing going on, actually. And I'd really like to see him because, you know, I want to pet a monkey. Maybe I'll sing Shock the Monkey live on air or something. Wasted Bonehead. Hell yeah. Styx the Clank Wizard is Team Undead. Sigil is fucked. Yeah, I don't know why he wanted to poop on my house. Yeah. No garden pooping, only people pooping, says Sigil. Now, if you poop over, I'm going to raise zombies. I'll study necromancy. You know, I'll have to cross-train with Wasted, I guess. Courier Jackalope 91. I love that you're back in the US and I can watch your live streams now. Originally, I'm from New Hampshire, now in Utah. I used to drive through Vermont all the time. Beautiful state. Welcome home. Yeah, I was born in New Hampshire, not in Vermont. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's fun to be back in a time zone where 80% of my audience is actually capable of listening into it. There are advantages to this, beyond the fiscal, by the way. Yeah. No, I'm going to be going on Timcast at the end of the month. I'm very happy. And also, I'll be on Break the Rules. I think, when was it? I think Lev said the 7th is when I'm scheduled in for there. I shall check this. Just a moment, everyone. Let me check that so that I can update everyone. Yes, confirmed for Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's when I will be debating neo-reactionism versus my classical libertarianism with, who was it exactly I was debating? Yeah, with Green Man 6. That's green with an E on the end of it, by the way. He's a vlogger and content creator, and he takes up a neo-reactionist view. And so we'll be doing a little bit of a debate. And probably I'll be doing other appearances too. I mean, my schedule is more wide open now, so I don't know. If anyone has a reasonably sized podcast or vlog or something like that and wants me aboard at a reasonable time, just shoot me a Twitter DM. And I'd like to do more
more appearances, because for a couple of years there, I did very few of them, other than a few big name events. Shifu, Destiny is debating people about January 6th. It'll be hilarious. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Destiny for multiple reasons. A mutual tipped me off when we were supposed to debate that there would be shenanigans should I actually hatch in. People pretend that I'm a coward who is too scared to debate him as a result. But I'm not going to give the skinny on the inside story, because this person is apparently still aware of what Destiny is doing and can be more helpful in that role. Virgil Shadow, which state in the South is the most libertarian in your opinion? Hard to tell, because you've got the evangelical moralistic sentiment, and then you've got states that are more like police state. Maybe Texas, but kind of heavy-handed in some ways too. Could be Florida, but again, there's some authoritarianism there as well. Maybe one of the more, maybe like in Oklahoma, like one of the more rural states, just because people keep out of one another's hair. Rural areas are definitely more conducive towards libertarian mindset than urban areas. So I guess there's that. Anyways, I'm going to go offline now. It's going to be a good time tomorrow. I will be back aboard with more news, and I've got some things now. Thank you to several of you out there who sent me news tips on Hassan Nasrallah, the Mikhail Zvetov, and so forth. And I've got to look, of course, into the news, RCP, and so forth. And then I've got to look up that bakery on West Street actually later, see if I can grab up some yummies. It'd be nice to get some good freshly baked bread. Yeah. I avoid carbs mostly, but freshly baked bread, like, the really herby stuff. Yeah, I'll go for that. Smear some butter on it, maybe some cream cheese or something. Oh, yeah. I'll be back tomorrow. I thank you to the nearly 5,000 people that tuned in live. I'll be back. That's about